There is a beautiful story in the yogic lore. The wedding between the Shiva and Parvati was a grand affair. Since Parvati was a princess, the who's who of the region were invited, kings and queens, gods and goddesses, each in their finery, one more beautiful than the other. And then came the groom, Shiva, dreadlocked, matted hair, smeared from head to toe in ash, wearing the fresh skin of an elephant, dripping with blood. He came fully inebriated, completely blissed out. His entourage was all demented and distorted beings, not of human form. They were making all kinds of noises among themselves in a language that no one could understand. Parvati's mother, Meena, looked at this groom and fainted. Parvati went and begged Shiva, "I don't mind the way you are. All I want is you, the way you are. But for my mother's sake, just show a little more pleasant self." Shiva agreed and put on a very beautiful form, attired himself well, and then came to the wedding again. When they saw Shiva transformed, they said he was a Sundarmurti. That means he was the most beautiful human being they had ever seen. He was 9 feet tall. They say when Shiva stood, he was level with a horse's head. When he came down to southern India, they said he was twice the height of an average woman there, who were generally 4.5 to 5 feet tall. He was approximately 9 feet tall, the most beautiful man, and everyone was awestruck by his presence. Shiva sat down for the marriage. In India, especially with this kind of wedding, the antecedents of the bride and the groom are announced with great pride. They tell of their ancestry, where they come from, how pure their blood is, and trace back the whole family tree. For the bride, Parvati's father Himavat was the king of the Himalayan mountain region. Many glorious things were said about the bride's lineage. Now they asked, what about the groom? Shiva simply sat quietly, remaining silent. He said nothing. None of his accompanying entourage could speak any recognizable language. They were making cacophonic noises. The bride's father was disgraced by this. A man without antecedents. How will he marry my daughter? Nobody knows where he comes from, who his parents are, what his lineage is. How can I give my daughter to this man? He rose up in anger. Then sage Narada, who was also a wedding guest, stepped forward with his single-stringed instrument called an ekatara. He plucked the single string. Tang, tang, tang. The king got even angrier. What are you playing the ekatara for? Narada said, this is his antecedents. He has no father, he has no mother. Then what is his basis? Tang. His basis is sound, reverberation. He is born out of reverberation. He has no parentage, no antecedents, no lineage. He is Swayambhu, self-created, a being without antecedents. The king was freaking out, but the wedding happened.